Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour and I'm Preeti. A quick recap of the top stories once again. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to leave for a two-day visit to UAE today to inaugurate the first Hindu temple, BAPS Mandir in Abu Dhabi, and address the Indian diaspora event, Alan Modi. US President Joe Biden says the United States is pushing for a 6-week Gaza pause, a stepping stone towards a longer ceasefire. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak defends Rwanda policy on migration, slams opposition Labour Party. The magnificent BAPS temple, the largest in Western Asia, is now ready. Built with key elements from India, the temple, which sits like a lotus amid the sand dunes in UAE, will soon be inaugurated by India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. DD India's correspondent Meghna Dev speaks to Vishal Patel, volunteer at the BAPS Hindu temple, on the preparations.
We are inside the BAPS Hindu temple, the highly anticipated temple where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming, and we'll be inaugurating it on 14th of February on his visit to UAE. Vishal, can you talk to us and tell us more on what are the preparations going around, and what we see is such a majestic view of this temple?
The culmination of what we've seen, the support that we've been given for this temple to be constructed has been phenomenal. And now we've seen everyone really working hard to see the culmination where our Guru Mahant Sai Maharaj is going to be here, and we're going to be joined by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And you can see there's a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement, and we're really proud to showcase the unity between the UAE and India. This is the first stone temple in the whole of the Middle East, and it's the largest temple in Western Asia. So to see such a magnificent temple, when you're really up close, it almost feels like you're actually in India. It's only when you go outside and you see the wider perimeter of the sand dunes and the palm trees, really hits home that you're actually in the middle of the UAE.
Many people have been telling us that the 7 spires are actually one of the special attractions, we can say, or one of the specialities of this temple. What do you have to say? Because we have been seeing that gods from different parts of India, their idols have been brought in here.
What makes it very unique is the way that it's been constructed. If you look at the 7 shikras that you have here, the 7 spires, they actually pay homage to the UAE. They represent each of the 7 emirates. And that's for us to say thank you to the UAE, which is our home for many, many years, for giving this land. Now, within this temple, what differentiates it from many other temples that you find around the world is the unity and the harmony that you will see. We've got murtis coming from the north, south, east and west. We have murtis coming from Tirupati. So Tirupati Balaji's murti is as authentic because it's been provided by the Tirupati Trust. Similarly, when you go to Puri, the Jagannath Ji murti is coming from Puri itself. So it's as authentic as you would find. So every Indian, every Hindu, and even, well-wishers who want to visit will have a taste of India when they come to this mandir.
Absolutely. So when we call it a spiritual sanctuary, it definitely stands ground on what it is being called. We obviously see this beautiful structure. When generally people visit Abu Dhabi, this structure transcends them from the general Abu Dhabi in terms of luxury hotels, racing car arenas and much more, to beautiful spiritual place and everything that depicts Indian craftsmanship, Indian culture, Indian tradition and more. With my colleague Ashwini Mishra and camera person Pramod Negi, this is Meghna Dev for DD India from Abu Dhabi.
With Prime Minister Modi set to visit the UAE for the inauguration of the BAPS Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi, let's watch the highlights of his previous visit to the country. All right, Meghna is joining us to get us more details. Meghna, good morning. The Prime Minister will be travelling to UAE today for a 2-day visit, and we've got detailed reports of yours wherein you've talked of how important would be the visit. Let us get more from you as to what will be there on the cards for the first day as the Prime Minister today lands in UAE.
Very importantly today, just because of the inclement weather, we have been seeing that preparations, nothing has dampened, it has not dampened the spirit, because since yesterday we have been seeing that Abu Dhabi is witnessing rainfall. But besides that, also people here, especially for the Ahlan Modi event, the people from the Indian diaspora are all geared up and are all enthralled to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Abu Dhabi, and obviously to the grand community event that has been planned. And besides that, Preeti, when you ask me about his engagements, about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's engagements today, he will be holding a bilateral meeting now with President Nahyan. Now, very importantly, we have been seeing frequent high-level interactions. The intensity of the high-level interactions has been quite a lot in the past 8 months. This is going to be the 5th meeting between both the leaders, which says it all, which is a testament to how, how the relationship between both the countries is on an uptick. Besides that, what we are expecting that and what we have been told by the organizers of the Ahlan Modi event, which is the community event which has been planned in Abu Dhabi, that there are going to be cultural performances and a showcase of what India's cultural diversity, India's growth story looks like. That will be showcased at the stadium. And besides that, very importantly, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing the community, which everyone's eager to hear. And also, when we actually know that the stadium is completely jam-packed, there have been, a number of people who wanted to come but could not come due to paucity of space. So, this says it all. The popularity that Prime Minister Narendra Modi enjoys overseas as well, and especially amongst the Indian diaspora, that they want to come and hear their leaders speak. So, besides, all of these engagements, the bilateral meeting holds much importance and significance, because this is going to be just after, just a very short interval after President Nahyan was in Gandhinagar in Gujarat for the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit. And both the leaders held a bilateral meeting where MOUs were signed. And this time around, also MOUs are expected to be signed. Last time it was in terms of food parks, industrial parks, and, the renewable sector and more. So this time also, we'll have to see in what areas these MOUs are going to be signed. So that's all specifically in the agenda for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first day. That is today of his UAE visit, which will start in just some time from now.
All right, Meghna, also a very important part of his visit would be the inauguration of the BAPS Hindu Temple in Abu Dhabi, and we got a detailed report of yours wherein you took us and showed us glimpses of the temple. Let us hear more from you. How far will it further cement the relationship between the two countries? And because there was a very specific point which you mentioned in your report, that it will transcend the Indians, and it will provide a spiritual sanctuary to those Indians living in UAE.
Definitely, visuals, Preeti, I would say, do not do justice to what we actually see when we go there at the BAPS Hindu Temple. When one approaches the temple, you see nothing but just plain land, expanse of desert in the Abu Muraikha district in Abu Dhabi, where this temple is situated. And when you start reaching the temple, when you start approaching the temple, you start seeing those spires, those 7 spires, which make it as beautiful as any other Hindu temple across the globe. And when you actually reach it, you actually see that the pink sandstone does so much magic to this place, where it actually blossoms like a lotus. When you actually visit the temple, the expanse of desert, and it's just like blossoming of a lotus in the middle of it. So definitely it is very, very magnificent and a beautiful temple that has been built. Clearly a showcase of Indian craftsmanship, which is timeless, and every possible thing has been depicted on the walls, on the the interiors and the exteriors, and a lot of thought has been put into what they wanted the temple to look like, to be like, and obviously to feel like. And it is just actually bringing in a lot of excitement for the Indian diaspora, which is about 3.5 million strong in UAE, and it is a huge diaspora when we talk about. So definitely there is a lot of excitement on that front. Besides that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be inaugurating it on the 14th of February, which is tomorrow, on his second day of the visit. Makes it even more special for the diaspora here. And very importantly, when we actually see that this temple, Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid its foundation stone in 2018, and now he's coming for the inauguration. And in the middle of that time period, there has been COVID as well, which has not deterred spirits for the people and for the for the making or construction of this temple. So definitely speaks volumes of how much of an importance this temple carries, especially when we talk about the whole Middle East region, where there is no other temple as huge as this one, once it's inaugurated. So definitely a lot of excitement in people. We have been speaking to a number of people here, and all of them have been expressing excitement, especially for this 2-day visit, where they have a grand community event and a grand opening of this BAPS Hindu temple.
All right, Meghna, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in.